Hello, good morning, everyone. Pay me a call. Good morning to you, sir. Emmanuel, good morning to you, sir. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Who else do we have? We need confirmation that the audio is great and you can hear me. Felix, good morning to you. Yusuf, good morning to you, sir. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Very good. Thanks for the confirmation. Thank you, sir. Pay me a call. Felix, thank you very much for the confirmation. Good morning to you. You're welcome, sir. Um, Jonathan, good morning to you, sir. Welcome. Madu, Chidike Madu, good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining. All right, in less than a minute, we get started. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining. That's Genka. Good morning to you, sir. Yeah, I wish you the same. Thank you very much. Compliments of the season, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out to join. All right, it's almost Christmas. We can still get the best out of the markets. It's only 2 days. All right, we get started right away. All right, so good morning once again, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for taking the time out to join us on today's edition of our morning market review. Here is Miss officially wishing us compliments of the season. Thank you very much, Sister Lee Twin. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. You're welcome. It's great to have you. All right. Right. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Muide, thank you, sir, for joining. I haven't seen my friend from Milari, Mr. Dick. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, traders. If it's your first time, good morning to you. You're welcome. It's great to have you join us on today's edition of our morning market review. Today being the 23rd day of December 2025. It's 2 days to Christmas. And as I said earlier, can still uh, take out a few pips from the markets, can still get some pips from the markets, all right? In spirit of Christmas, in spirit of the holiday season. Of course, the market is not on holiday. You can still uh, take out some good funds from the markets. All right. Right. So, as a quick reminder on this forum every day, we get to look at what's going on in the markets. Morning market review, MMR for short. So, we try to look at the fundamentals and technical setups as well. And we also do this with the hope that we'll be able to pick a few entries and even trade ideas, especially for today, and also have assets that we can have on watch list for the rest of the week as well. Okay. Without further ado, let's get right to it. And as we always do, usually we start with the majors, and then from there we start looking at other pairs. All right. And what we try to do with those assets is to check their important key levels and the potential trade setups that we have on each one of them. All right. Um, and this is also with the hope that, as I always like to have too, when you have listened long enough, you are also able to come up with your own profitable strategies that eventually gives you an edge over the market. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the edge. Okay, it's all about the edge, right? Let's not forget our copy trading platform too. Let's not forget that. This of course allows you to take your trading to the next level, all right, just by using our social trading platform. So for those of us who may still be struggling, you can easily copy trades of experts who have been certified and have been onboarded to the platform. You easily click a few buttons and then your trade is set up and starts almost immediately. All right. So through that platform, you don't have the opportunity to copy trades of expert traders. So while you are trying to get a hang of the market, you can get started almost immediately, like I said, just by clicking a few buttons and then your trade is activated. All right, it's activated. Muideen, you may have to maybe drop your email for me so I can check out your query. Okay, so I can check that out. Right. So even if you have been a struggling trader or you're still looking to maybe sharpen your skills when it comes to trading, so in addition to your own real accounts that you're still trying to get a hang of, you can start growing your portfolio effortlessly through that social trading, all right, with just a few clicks and you're done, all right? So that means while you're still trying to find your own way around the market, you can set up a copy platform for yourself and you begin to earn almost immediately, as I said, all right? So Shodunke, you may have to reach out so I can further look at what you just dropped. Okay. All right. So let's get right to it. I just needed to quickly say that, especially for those of us that uh, may still be finding it difficult to maybe pick trades. Yeah, more didn't show. Okay. Yeah, please drop your email for me, sir. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen right about now. So we can start with the fundamentals that we have. All right, you got that. Olufemi Muideen 7-1. I'm going to note that very quickly. All right, thank you, sir. Emmanuel, I'm not sure why you dropped yours. Okay, so Tuesday, December 23rd, we have the ADP weekly employment change. It's still tentative. There is no time allocated to that yet. All right. It's one that I've mentioned a number of times too, that weekly ADP employment change. Okay. And then we also have GDP for CAD for the Canadian dollar at 2:30 p.m. All right. And of course, because it's high impact news, we're going to expect some volatility for um, CAD at 2:30 p.m. today. Okay, we're going to expect some volatility for Canadian dollar. Okay. Thank you for the additional information. Shouldn't care. I'm definitely going to look at it. Okay. So that's ADP weekly employment change. As soon as we have a time allotted to that, we're going to see exactly when it's going to be released, that data, all right? It's like estimated average on a weekly basis for the change in the number of employed people. It's during the previous 4 weeks, and this also excludes the farming industry. Okay, it excludes the farming industry, right? Um, so it's like a weekly scorecard of how many people found jobs or lost jobs on a weekly basis. All right. So it's going to look at the past 4 weeks. And I like to use the example of if you imagine your city as one big school, and every week some kids join the school and some kids leave the school on a weekly basis. So what it means is that if more kids join, then the school gets bigger as expected. And if more kids leave, then the school get smaller as well. Okay. Now, if imagine if that school is actually the job market, okay, and ADP is like a big company that now counts how many people are either getting new jobs or losing new jobs. That is joining the school or leaving the school. So they look at businesses all over the country to be able to come up with that data. All right. To be able to come up with that data. Okay, so if the number is small or negative, it means fewer people got hired or more people lost jobs. And we care about it because when more people have jobs, it means we have money to spend, right? And it also means businesses are doing better and the economy is expected to grow. But the opposite will be true when fewer people have jobs. Of course, the economy is going to slow down, right? But there's no time allotted to that yet. So 2:30 p.m., we expect GDP data for CAD as well as the USD and some other important news as well. Core durable goods for USD, and then consumer confidence. We also have that coming up at 4 p.m. for the USD. And as I said, we're going to expect volatility for the CAD and USD around that time. Okay. Right. So that's it for the technicals. That's it for the technicals. I'm going to head over to, sorry, that's it for fundamentals rather. So I'm going to head straight to the trading platform for technical setups that we have. Just a second. Oh, Adebayo additional. Thank you very much, sir. Just saying this. I wish you the same. Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year in advance. Thank you very much, sir, for taking the time to join us today. All right. So, technicals. And of course, start with the dollar index. Okay, start with the dollar index. Okay, so for the dollar index, of course, it's been bearish. There's no doubt about that. It's been bearish. And then I remember highlighting this bearish flag, which further confirmed that the bearish move is still intact at that time. Okay. And then eventually there was a rate cut, which also gave rise to this long bearish candle as well. And then the bearish move continued. Right about now, has now found support at 97.7. Okay. And 97.7 is valid because if you look back to how the same price level impacted price in the past, we see how valid and important that level is. Okay. We see here, for example, or even here, the closest one, and then right here as well. Here as well, we see some abnormal movements right there as well. The same at 7.7 level, and here as well, and on like that. If you continue to look back, you see additional proofs why that level is quite significant. And this is the daily time frame. Remember, on the daily time frame, um, that's my preferred time frame. All right, that's my preferred time frame. On that time frame, I'm looking out for the important key levels. All right. I'm looking out for the important key levels on the daily time frame. For me, is the best place to start. And then, like I said, I'm determining the trend on that time frame, the important support and resistance levels. Okay. So once I highlight this on the daily time frame or mark them out, I can now tune down to a much lower time frame for entry opportunities. All right. So this is where I carry out my main analysis, all right, and then tune down to a much lower one for entry so that the entry is even more precise, all right. And I believe once you master the art of analyzing multiple time frames like this, one will continue to get a clearer and more accurate picture of what is going on in the market so that one can make smart and profitable decisions, okay? So that's what I try to do with the daily time frame, right? So I have the important support level right here at 97.7. Okay. So at this level, what it means is that we would either one expect a bounce from that support or a break below that support, and then the bearish move continues. All right. Those are the two possibilities at this level. But which way is it going to go? All right, time will tell, right? Because the market has the final say. But here we expect either a bounce or a break below support, and then the bearish move continues. All right. So as it is right now, we've seen a lower high. Chinedu says my audio is not audible. I don't know. Can we have more confirmations, or it's just Chinedu's device? I want to believe it is though. So please, I would appreciate additional confirmations. All right, thank you very much, Alebode. Thank you, Felix. Right, so we have to check your end. I have plenty confirmations that the audio is great, right? So 97.7 support level is one to watch, either for a bounce or a break below that support, and then bearish move continues. Now, why are we doing this? We're doing this because it is the USD index, all right? To a large extent, this is whatever is going to happen to the rest of the major pairs, Euro USD, Pound USD, to a large extent is dependent on what happens with the USD index. For example, if you look at a pair like Euro USD, it's the inverse of the dollar index, all right? So what it means is that if this is in a downtrend, and we can expect Euro USD to be in an uptrend. All right. So that's why this is quite significant, right? So at this support level, either a break below the support or a bounce, right? Now, if we're going to see a bounce, there will be pointers, all right? There will be pointers. For instance, looking back at what happened here, where price broke below 97.7 here, a lower price was quickly rejected, and that gave rise to this uh, lower wick. Okay, that gave rise to this lower wick, and then for about 3 days, we got a bullish move. All right, almost hitting the 98.6 level. Right. So now that price is back at the same 97.7, if we see a similar pattern play out here, then we can expect price to push higher from 97.7. Right. So for me, I'll be looking out for buying pressure around 97.7, right? I'll be looking out for buying pressure around 97.7. But if eventually we get a break below that, then we can expect price to fall all the way to 96.8. But like I said, there will be pointers, okay? And that's the daily time frame. So if this is going to bounce from here, then the likes of Euro USD would be bearish if this bounces from here. If it breaks below the support and it continues to fall, then you can expect Euro USD to be bullish from the current level. And we'll see that in a minute. Right, so this is the daily time frame. Usually my entry is on the 15 minutes. I really don't like to trade this directly. I just use this to get some perspectives as to what to expect with Euro dollar, pounds dollar, NZD, USD, and the rest of the major pairs. All right. So as this is what it looks like on the 15 minutes time frame. So it looks like on the 15 minutes time frame. We already have a double bottom pattern, which is a bullish reversal pattern. So this is holding as a critical support level. Okay, it's holding as a critical support level. So what I would also mean is that as long as price stays above my 7.7, I would expect USD index to push higher from the current level, except we now see a break below 97.7 support level, right? So that's my expectation for USD index, right? So now let's move on to the rest of the major pairs, okay? Okay, I'm going to put up the on that chart where I have my setups. Euro dollar, okay? Right. Okay, so while the USD index is sitting on 97.7 support, we see euro dollar at 1.178 resistance. All right, you see how uh, related that is. So I said earlier that the euro dollar is essentially the inverse of the dollar index, and that's why we now see this on euro USD. Okay, so if USD index eventually breaks below 97.7 support and continues to fall, then what that would mean for euro dollar is that we also see a break above 1.178 and it continues to push higher. Okay, because euro dollar 2 is now at resistance. Okay, so for euro USD, we're going to expect a break above 1.178 and a bullish continuation only if USD index breaks below 97.7 support level. All right. So this is what we have on the daily time frame. Let me see. I think it's on 4 hours that we have some pattern. Okay, 4 hours time frame. Right. This is what it looks like on 4 hours time frame. And this is still on Euro USD, all right? Still on Euro USD. Yeah, it was yesterday that I saw this in Neolua. I believe that's what I have in Neolua. These are just areas that price has tested multiple times. All right. These are just areas on your chart that price has tested multiple times. Okay. So let me use this as an example. Now, remember I said that I use the daily time frame as my anchor chart where I get important support and resistance levels. Okay. Now, before price got here, I saw this, okay? I saw this and then this as well here and then even here, all right? So what it means is that I have these 1, 2, and then 3 touches right on that, around that area. And if you continue to look back, we have another level here as well. So that's why that level is significant for me. So what I do is just to put a line there to mark that level, all right? So that every time price is approaching that level, I have an expectation, either a bounce or a break. Okay, so I was going to say that on the 4 hours time frame, I saw this head and shoulder pattern. All right, this was yesterday. So here we got the head and then the left shoulder right here, and then the right shoulder somewhere here. Now, price is now above that right shoulder, okay, which also confirms that this is still bullish, okay? Price is now above that right shoulder. Right, so this is the resistance that we highlighted on the daily time frame at 1.178. So if buyers are able to take out that resistance, then we can expect this to continue to push higher. Now, ideally, we're not supposed to be buying at resistance, and that's why, except you're an aggressive trader, that's the only reason you will be buying at resistance because you anticipate a break above resistance. Okay. But for me, I'll be waiting for price to break above this resistance so that this resistance flips to support and then I take my buy, all right, which will now mean that I'll be buying at support, okay, should that happen. Right, so this is what it looks like on the 4 hours time frame, but I prefer 15 minutes time frame for my entry. Okay, I prefer the 15 minutes time frame for my entry. Now, price has okay, it didn't quite touch the 50, this is the 50 period moving average, which I also use as an indicator on my chart to further guide my decisions. All right. So looking at the 50 period moving average, we see price also above the 50 period moving average, which also signifies strength. All right. So it also means that while price is above the 50 period moving average, we're also looking for opportunities to buy. Right. So now it's pulled back almost touching the 50 period moving average. And then we're now beginning to see some buying pressure around that 50 period moving average. Right. So what this means is that if at the end of the 15 minutes we get a bullish confirmation, then it has the potential to push higher. All right. Now remember, this is the resistance right here at 1.178. So for me, I'll be waiting for price to break above that resistance so that I can have a fantastic risk reward ratio. Okay, and have a fantastic risk reward ratio. Right. So that's how I'm going to approach Euro USD. Then moving on to, let me see what I have. Yeah, Inolu, I hope you got that. I already answered that, and I hope you got it. Okay, so for pounds USD, of course, pretty much similar to Euro USD. Right. For pounds USD, it's already above resistance. All right. It's already above resistance. You're welcome, sir. It's already above resistance at 1.344. Now, why is that level of resistance? Because I see a lot of activities around that price level. For instance, what happened back here and here as well. If you continue to look back, you see more proofs why that level is significant. For example, here as well, and even here as well. Okay, so I have initially was resistance. You see the struggle here to break above 1.344, but eventually we got a bullish close above 1.344 resistance. So what that means is that this automatically flips to support. All right, this automatically flips to support. So what this means is that as long as price is above 1.344 support, then we expect pounds USD to continue to push higher all the way towards 1.358, okay, which would now be the next resistance for me on the daily time frame. The next significant resistance for me on the daily time frame. All right. So what it means is that again, as long as price is above 1.344, we take we look for opportunities to buy, except we now see a break back below 1.344. In that case, the buyers will now switch to a bearish one if price closes below or if sellers are able to take out 1.344 support. Okay. So let's see what it looks like on 15 minutes. Again, we see how prices above the 50 period moving average. You said 50 period moving average. It's pulled back, just like we saw for Euro USD. It's pulled back towards the 50 period moving average, and now we're seeing more push to the upside on the 50 minutes time frame. So how do we approach this? Like I said, we're interested in buying. Okay, we're interested in buying as long as prices are above 1.344 and above the 50 period moving average as well. Okay, so on this 50 minutes time frame, I also see this resistance. Okay. Right. How do I know that? It's simply because of how price reacted to that price level in the past. That's it. Okay. And we see how price is now beginning to push away from the same level. All right. Now, this is 15-minute time frame. On this 15-minute time frame, for me to now take a buy, then I'll wait for price to take out that resistance in this 15-minute time frame. I'm going to wait for price to take out this resistance. That is, we see a bullish close above that resistance. Then that will be my confirmation to long pound USD. The way this switches to bearish for me would be number one, a close below the 50-period moving average, and eventually, if I see a close below 1.344, that's when this switches to a bearish bias for me. All right. So one, I need to see buyers take out 1.3492 on the 15-minute time frame for me to consider longing pounds USD, taking a buy on pounds USD. All right. And don't forget, USD is the counter currency here. So this is, to a large extent, will depend on what happens to the USD index at 97.7 support level. If you get it break below that, then automatically this too is going to break above the resistance and continue to push higher. Okay, continue to push higher. That's great to know. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so that's for pounds USD. That's for pounds USD. Moving on to USD JPY now. Moving on to USD JPY. All right. So on USD JPY, again on the daily time frame, which again is our anchor chart. On this time frame, we check the important support and resistance levels. All right, and then tune down to a much lower one for entry opportunity. Okay, so USD JPY on the daily time frame, we see this ascending channel. Okay, we see this ascending channel. What does that mean? We have a trend line resistance right here, and then we have a trend line support. And you see how price stayed inside of that trend line resistance and trend line support. Okay, and then eventually price broke above it. We got this bullish confirmation above the trend line resistance, right? And then resistance at, okay, going to break it down a little, right? Resistance right there, which also give us a double top pattern, all right? A double top pattern. So as it is right now, price is sitting on that trend line resistance as support now because price is now above it, okay? Throughout this period, while price was inside the ascending channel, this particular trend line right here acted as resistance for price. But now that price is above it, of course, it automatically flips to support. All right, I'm going to extend it a little bit. Right, so it automatically flips to support. So on the daily time frame, we have our support right here. Okay, have our support right here. And then, of course, resistance is back here at 157.7 on the daily time frame, where we check out the important key levels. Now we take that to 15 minutes. Okay, on 15 minutes time frame, we see price below the 50-period moving average, which also signifies weakness. All right, in this case, this signifies weakness. Back here, when it was above the 50-period moving average, all right, of course, it was strong at that time. The minute it broke below the 50-period moving average, it became weak, and then we see that continuation, bearish continuation. Okay, so this is the trend line support now. Okay, this is the trend line support, right? So eventually, if this falls to that support right here, falls to that support, right? So again, at the support, two things, two possibilities. We either see or expect a bounce from that support, or we see a break below the support and then the bearish move continues. Okay, those are the two possibilities right yet again. Okay, those are the two possibilities. We either see a break below the support and the bearish move continues, or price sits on that support, we get some bullish confirmation, and then price starts to push higher from that support level. Okay, so for me, I'm going to have eyes on that trend line support to see what happens when price hits it, to see what happens when price hits it. And then on this 15-minute time frame, I'll be looking at this resistance as well. Okay, I'll be looking at this resistance as well. In case price breaks above that resistance, then we're going to expect some push higher. All right, we're going to expect some push higher if price takes out that resistance on the 15 minutes time frame. Right. So for USD JPY, in summary, I'm waiting for price to hit this trend line support. And then at that support, if I get some buying pressure there, it will be an opportunity to long. Or if eventually all we get is a break below the support, then the bearish move is expected to continue for USD JPY. And again, for USD JPY, USD is the base currency here. So whatever happens to the dollar index at 97.7 will also be significant for USD JPY moving forward. All right. So next up, we have USD CHF, right? We have USD CHF. Now, this USD CHF for me is interesting because if you look at what has happened, let's even take it to monthly time frame. Now, let me be quick to add that for the monthly or weekly time frame, they are really not significant to us as day traders. But of course, we can use them to get some perspectives in the markets. All right. So we really don't pay attention to the weekly or the monthly time frame. For me, I believe those time frames are too far out that they really don't have much significance to us as day traders. Okay. For that, the example I like to give is imagine if you're trying to spy on your neighbor, and then instead of just using a ladder to spy on your neighbor, you now decide to take a rocket ship. Okay. Now, if you use a rocket ship, what it means is that you are now going to be so far out in space that you can hardly see your neighbor that you're trying to spy on, right? So that's the example I like to use for to understand the weekly or monthly time frame as against the lower time frames. All right. Okay. Yeah, there may be some news that are not scheduled, that may not be available on the uh, Forex Factory calendar that we normally use, right? There may be some unscheduled news, all right, that are still ongoing. So even though we can't see them, so there may still be some unscheduled news that will be responsible for those aggressive moves that you observed, all right? Okay, so for USD CHF, I was going to point this out on the monthly time frame. Yeah. Currently we have price. Okay, let's take it to daily first, so it's clear. This is 0.792 support. All right, 0.792 support. Now, back here, we see this struggle to break below 0.792, but failed, and then price pushed higher. Back here as well, price stopped at 0.792. We got this spike lower, even this spiked even lower, right? And then next to that, we got an aggressive move to the upside. Back here as well, a few pips away from 0.792, we got another aggressive push higher. Back here as well, okay? And then even here, when price broke aggressively below 0.792, with this volume, one would expect that it will continue to fall, all right? Considering this huge bearish candle, one would expect that this would have been very weak and then should continue to fall. But that didn't happen. The next candle became bullish, and the next candle, and the next candle, and then we got that bullish move higher. The same thing back here, all right? The same thing back here. Now, I said all of that to say, right here, currently, we now see price again is below 0.792. Now, I said all of that because every time price broke below 0.792, eventually it gave rise to an aggressive push in the opposite direction. All right. Back here now, back here, this is typical of a fake out. We got a break below 0.792, almost immediately price closed back above 0.792, and then we got that aggressive push to the upside. and we see this multiple times, all right? This happened multiple times. So for me, I'll be looking out for the same pattern right here. Be looking out for the same pattern right here. And what do I need? I'm going to wait for price to close back above 0.792, all right, so that we can get another fake out right here, all right? So this can give us another fake out. And fake out is one of my uh, trade setups, one of the trade setups that I like because it has a high probability, all right? It has a very high win rate. This is simply a breakout that failed, all right? So it's also called failed breakout or fake out, all right? So I'm going to be looking out for what happens here moving forward. Now, for me, I'm going to expect a close back above 0.792 so that the whole of the price here can also be a fake out. And then I'm going to be buying in anticipation of that aggressive push to the upside, just like we're seeing severally on this chart. And that's why I'm particularly interested in what happens next, okay, for USD CHF. And again, like I said, for me, I'll be waiting for a break back above 0.792 so that this becomes a fake out. And then I'll be taking advantage of that aggressive move to the upside for USD CHF. All right. So I hope you had this to your watch list as well so that we can take maximum advantage of that move. As I said earlier, fake outs like this usually are high probability trade setups. Okay, they're high probability trade setups because an aggressive move in the opposite direction is expected uh, in case the fake out happens. All right, so that's for USD CHF. USD card. Next up, I have USD card. Okay, for USD card too, daily time frame, of course, which again is our anchor chart. Price at 1.374. If you check out what happened before, right here, 1.374. Back here again, 1.374, and back here, 1.37. Even throughout this period, as resistance, and a few pips away here as support. Okay, so I have eyes on 1.374 right here. Now, currently, prices, of course, below 1.374. Okay, currently, prices below 1.374, and then the bearish move is still on. The bearish move is still on. So how do I approach this? On the 15-minute time frame, so I see this support, right? This was the last low that gave rise to this lower high for a push lower. So now we expect a lower low, okay? Expect a lower low, right? But for the lower low to happen, price needs to take out, or sellers need to take out this support at 1.37324 on the 15-minute time frame. So what that means is that once I confirm a break below the support on 15-minute time frame, it will be an opportunity to short USD CAD to take advantage of dollar weakness. All right. And then what would further strengthen this would be a break below 97.7 for the USD index. All right. So USD CAD, I expect a break below 1.37324 on this 15-minute time frame so that I can go in for a sell, all right, on USD CAD. Now, what would invalidate this would be if we now start getting some buying pressure at 1.37324 on this 15-minute time frame, then it's going to have the potential to push higher from the current level. However, we cannot also ignore the fact that price is below the 50-period moving average, all right, which signifies weakness, all right, which signifies weakness. Okay, so a break below that support will confirm that the bearish move is still very much intact for me, and then I'll be looking for opportunities to sell below 1.37324 on the 15-minute time frame. Hello. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I lost uh, the network for a bit, but it's back now. It's back now. Right. So I was talking about the AUD USD before it got disconnected, and the fact that it was price currently is above the 50 period moving average, and then this signifies strength. So we're going to be looking for opportunities to buy as long as we have price above the 50 period moving average, right? Of course, we started on the daily time frame and then switched to the 15-minute time frame for uh, a much more precise. Okay, you have that as well in Lauren. Yeah. So um, on the 15-minute time frame, 15 minutes time frame. All right. So the initial resistance right there that gave rise to that push higher when price broke above uh, that resistance. Okay. So it would be interesting to see some pullback into that area. All right. What that means is on this 15-minute time frame now, maybe interesting to see a pullback into this area for the buy opportunity, okay, for the buy opportunity. Um, or let's see if we get some resistance, okay, right at the current price level as a result of what happened previously. Okay, so on this 15 minutes time frame right here. All right, so on this 15-minute time frame, we need to see a sustained break above this resistance. Okay, we need price to close above that resistance, and then that would be the opportunity to buy, taking out that resistance, or to get a retracement into this area. All right, now this area is significant because initially was the resistance for this move before we got the break above it eventually. So maybe interesting to see price pull back into that area and then we take our buy from there, or it closes above resistance here on the 15 minutes time frame, 0.6674. And then that would also be an opportunity to take our buys. All right. Okay. CAD JPY is interesting because of this, and I remember I've mentioned this a number of times as well. I'm going to extend this trend line. Okay, so we see many touches at support at that trend line. Started since I think sometime in September, okay, in October, sometime in October, okay. Here as support, back here as support as well, here as support as well, here as well. And of course, price is still way above that and also above the 50 period moving average. Okay. So we got this retracement back to the support. Again, this support initially was resistance right here. So price broke above it, retested it as support. okay? And then we got that push to the upside. So on this daily time frame, we now have support right here, okay? We now have support right here. All right, so we take that to 15 minutes. Okay, so on this 15-minute time frame, right, this is what I have. Okay, so here we got a bullish engulfing candle and then price pushed higher. It traced all the way back to the same trend line support, and now we're seeing yet another push to the upside. Okay, we're seeing another push to the upside. All right, seeing another push to the upside. So number one, if we get a retest of this support, we get a retest of the support, then I'll be looking at that support to take my buy, all right, to take my buy at this support. All right, you see what happened all the way back here? It was resistance, and then price broke above it convincingly. So it will be interesting to see retracement into that area and then take buys around 113.3 or thereabout. Or if at this current level it continues to push higher, that's also a possibility. Okay. So what I look for would be a break above this level on 15 minutes time frame. Okay. So one, if I get a break above this level, around 113.636, a break above that level would make that continue to push higher from the current level. Or a break below this trend line support would now confirm that it would likely get a retracement all the way to, all the way to the support at 113.293. Okay. If it breaks below that trend line on 15 minutes time frame. Right. If it breaks below this trend line on 15 minutes time frame, it means that it has the potential to continue to push to the downside and then all the way to that support that we highlighted on the daily time frame. Or on the other hand, if what we get is a close above this resistance on this 15-minute time frame, then it has the potential to push higher from the current uh, level. Okay, right. So I believe this will be a fine place to leave it for today. Thank you for taking the time out to join us on today's edition of our morning market review, MMR. Don't forget, as a way to get started almost immediately, the copy trading option might be the best fit for you at this time to get started almost immediately. So what it means is that while you're trying to get a hang of your own wheel account, you can have a copy account that is being traded and is set up immediately with a few clicks. You can set up your copy platform, you put some money on that platform, and then it starts to trade almost immediately. All right. That's for the copy platform, while you still have your own real accounts that you're still trading. All right. Thank you very much for taking the time out to join. Okay. If you would send me your email before I end the session, if you could send me your email before I end the session, then I will reach out to you as soon as possible. I got one from, I think in now. No, Olufemi Muidin. I got one from Olufemi Muidin. Ike, if you can drop your email for me right now so I can do a follow-up once I end this session, okay? For your query. All right. Thank you very much. I got it. Ike Adinde. All right, thank you very much. This is where we leave it for today. I wish us a great trading day and a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. Thank you very much. Do have a fantastic day and bye for now. Felix Iron, you may also drop your email for me right now and then I'll do a follow up on that. Felix Iron, do send your email right away so I can follow it up immediately for the copy platform. Or you can just simply reach out to your account manager and then you would have that set up it with a few clicks. All right, I know Felix. Okay, all right. All right, thank you very much. This is where we leave it for today. Do have a lovely day and bye for now.